happens on the screen as much as it is about the skill of the player. It shouldn't necessarily just come down to how well you can shout at someone.
No,
Or
I
how
agree.
much
I
you can
agree
tell the player.
100% with that. I mean, but what I'm trying to say is that if I took 20 Ryan Harts and put them in a room, and they were all
Yeah,
calm, cool, collective, and played by the science of the game,
yeah. Uh-huh.
how much of an audience does that really attract? And that's speaking not as fans, but growth of the scene.
That's what I said. At the beginning, I said you have to decide what you want. Do you want an audience of people that want to come to see people popping off, or do you want an audience of people that want to come to appreciate the skill of the sport? Because it's two different methods to get each result. So if you want the first one, then you need people with personalities that are going to pop off and they're going to go crazy. And then if you want the other one, then you need the 20 Ryan Harts. So you both are attainable. You just have to know what you want and then go for it.
It's got to be I personally think it's got to be a mix. Um,
Well, you'd want a mix, but that's hard to get.
I mean, I mean, I think we generally have a decent mix right now. I mean, the numbers that final
Yes.
round was broke 50,000.
Yeah.
I mean, just under Evo, that's it. But
Yeah.
the key is 50,000 needs to be, a million. Let's be real here.
Right.
If you're basing
Right.
it off of a sport, and gonna call it an e-sport, look at
Yeah.
the ratings on TV for a football match, or a baseball game, and
Yeah.
it's millions of people watching these games.
Of course, yeah. But that's because of communication. I mean, you need a format of communication that makes it appealing for anyone and everyone, and that's where you're going to find a lot of the growth comes from. Just how you talk about what you're producing, what you're showing them.
So now, what do you think, as far as your personal opinion? What direction do you think it would go, or what do you think would be the better approach
To get what result?
to get more of I hate to call them the common folk, but people that might not automatically gravitate towards watching, say, a Street Fighter competition?
So to make Street Fighter more popular for the general public.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's about communication. If you want people to appreciate Street Fighter for what it is, which is what you're asking, then you need to have people that can talk about Street Fighter in an interesting and educational way and fun way. Fun is always a good thing. Fun is probably your key word here because at the end of the day, it is entertainment, and you want to get that in a professional manner, but not necessarily professional as in suits and ties and shirts, just professional as in knowledge base, in vocabulary, knowing how to talk about the game and having that be appealing, because once that happens, then I think people will find it interesting. Even if you don't understand the sport, if it's communicated the right way, you might just keep it on, you might not switch the channel, you might watch it. Well, this is interesting, talking about history, like what's going on here, and then they'll start talking about the background of the players and how they got to be there, and and that might be appealing to you, and then you might, even though you don't understand, you'll keep it on to see how much more interesting it gets, and as long as it can hold your attention, you'll be on it. So it's just about being able to hold people's attention spans, really, especially these days where you have hundreds of channels. People are not going to give it the damn time of day if it's not appealing, if we're talking about TV or even a Twitch show, so I think that it's about it making it interesting enough that people want to keep going, want to keep giving it their attention.
I mean, it's to the point now, as far as, like you said, turning on a TV now, the grass channel, a channel where you watch grass grow, and you can go between Kentucky bluegrass
the
and
dry
weeds.
paint channel.
Yeah.
The paint dry channel. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I wouldn't say Street Fighter is the paint dry channel or the grass grow channel, but I mean, like you said, over 50,000. Clearly not paint drying. People are finding this insane. So, but yeah, the if the aim is correct, over time, I believe it will happen, but you can't force it to happen overnight. This is something that's going to take time, and a solid team of professionals that are dedicated to what they're doing to make this happen. And I believe it can happen because at the end of the day, the product is good. If the product is good, you can make it work.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the product is definitely good.
Of course.
Again, though, beyond the big names, and this is something that people always break my chops about. Oh, the show. I said I like to get the guy who nobody knows on this show, and bring
Right.
exposure to them. They might not be, never make top 32,
Okay.
but it's still, you need those personalities to be known because, again, like
Of
I said,
course.
if you
Yeah. Yeah.
took just the top 25 players, who's going to pay to watch
Yeah.
that convincingly week after week after week? It's only 25 guys. How many times can you
Yeah.
watch them play each other?
Of course. Of course.
You know,
No. You do need the personalities, of course. But there's only so much personality you can put into actually playing in the game
yeah.
that's going to be appealing to. Do you see what I'm saying? So the actual screen imagery that you're going to be exposed to watching might not talk to you about the person's personality. So it's about looking at how you're going to be able to get those actual sort of like really interesting parts of that guy or that girl's character onto the big screen.
I mean, like, I personally, like, I could turn around at the other end of the room and say, Ryan, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna fuck you up, and then all of a sudden I get perfect at 2 out of 3 every fucking round. I'm gonna go, wow, I just my whole WWE attitude just went right out the door, and now I look like a schmuck that just talked crap. And that's
So
something
you
that's
think
got
it has to be
addressed.
really rugged, like kind of raw, like wrestling?
I think it has to, not that rugged, but I think it needs to incorporate a little bit of the novella soap opera to it.
I see.
Where
I
like,
see. Like do you want it to have like a reality show effect?
yeah, well,
Okay.
Ryan and 5 other guys from the UK come, and call it the Redcoats are coming edition or something. Coming to invade America
Oh my
and
God.
take on an American team. And again, that's where I
Okay.
say teams. They're really, America's too worried about East Coast, West Coast.
Right.
Rather than saying let's put Justin, PR, Sanford, Dominion, Ricky, or whatever combo of the best players in America on the same team.
Right.
And that's
Okay.
more of how you're going to build the stories.
Yeah,
Because you're
yeah,
building it
I see.
off a sense of reality.
Hmm.
You call out Ryan. You call out F Champ. Say,
There needs to be something. I mean, if you do that kind of thing with something on the line, I think that goes a long way. If it's just let's just do this production, then there's always going to be a limit to what it means.
oh
But
yeah, I
think
agree.
if there's a big prize to win or something, if it has a lot of meaning for everyone. I
Yeah.
mean, if you did an event like that and you documented the build up towards it, I think that would be really good. You documented people training at home or meeting up for sessions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Things
that's
like that.
like F Champ.
Like
F Champ is doing that right now for Marvel. F
But
Champ.
I mean, no, but so that's what I mean. So you'd see the UK guys training up, and then you'd see
Yeah.
the US guys training up. You'd see everyone individually training up wherever they live or wherever they play, wherever they practice. You'd see them all talking about the matchups and talking about strategy and stuff like that. And then inside of that, footage, you would get personalities that come out. I'm gonna body that guy free. Like you'd see how they talk to each other and how they feel about their how confident they are and things like that. So that there would make it more interesting because it's not just literally watching the pixels go at it on the screen. You're seeing a whole build up. You're seeing a story being created, and that's your soap opera right there. So then you have the match, and then afterwards you can have the post-production where you have the interviewers, that you had the players interviewed, and they can talk about, or you can even have them talking to each other about how they felt the matches went, and you can just document everything and have it come together as one big production.
I think
Because that's never
I think that actually
been done
sounds like a
before.
really good idea. To be honest, I mean, I could see.
Yeah, because that's never been done before, and people would definitely watch it if it was reputable players because they like those players. They respect those players and they learn from those players. So there's no reason for them not to want to see it. But why it's interesting, over things that normally go down is because it's actually a production where you're seeing footage of them just being themselves outside of the game. So there's actually a reason to watch it over any of the standard majors because you're getting unique footage here. You're seeing them at home, in their natural habitat, how they live, and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting thing. I think it would be quite fun to be a part of that and to watch it, watch the final cut.
I mean, I would assume like you guys would have 5 guys in like a London cafe having tea and biscuits, discussing tech.
Man, be about 10 guys, be about 10 brothers in Chinese restaurant after the arcade or after the tournament, just chatting about like whatever went down in the tournament, how we blew up certain mans, and we just be like, we usually go Chinese, isn't it? After the tournament, there's no like nowhere else is open because the tournament used to finish late when we used to do our winner stays on. And after the tournament now, we just like go to the Chinese and chill there because that's the only place open to eat. And then we just talk about like players that we watch online, or this player is not all that. We don't think if I went to America, I'll body that guy, like things like that. It's normal.
And that's and that's something that I really think that could work.
Yeah.
With ESGN, I thought ESGN was done well. I could have been done a little bit better. But it definitely had a good value.
Done a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the production team. Those guys are really, really cool. And also, Winner Stays On held the UK tournament that we used to have regularly, held an invitational league where they did pre-tournament interviews and like comments from the players about how they would feel about going up against any of the other potential opponents they could have in the 8-man bracket. So you got to give your feedback, straight away before the matches went down. If you play this guy, it's a 1-to-5 set, which character are you going to pick? Are you confident? What's your history? Have you beaten them in the past, etc., etc. So when you came to actually see the match, there was already history that had been put in. You'd already had a built-in formula of build-up before the match, so you were already involved. You were immersed in the match before you'd even seen an attack, and that was a very, very unique thing. And it was very, very professionally done. The commentary was awesome. And after every match, they had a kind of 1 minute timeout where the commentators would just do a play-by-play of what went down. Because if you look at fighting games, it's very, very fast. Almost like boxing. So boxing is one of those sports where you could say most of the commentary is done in between the rounds, because that's the only chance where they can really break things down. So this is exactly what they did. They waited till a game was over, because it was a 1-to-5 set. So after every game was over, they would have a timeout for a minute where the players would just wait on the select screen, and the commentators would just talk about what happened, what adjustments might need to be made by the players, and then the players would go back in, and then they would commentate the match and stuff like that. So it was very interesting from a spectator's point of view. There's a lot of viewing value there, because you were learning so much as well, because you're seeing what happened, you're hearing it explained in a very professional way, and then you're seeing the adjustments being made in real time. So that in itself is a very, very unique formula for players to level up, because you don't get that in a major. Even if you go to a major, you don't know what the players are thinking. You don't know what you can't hear what the commentators are saying if you're a major live. Do you know what I mean? So, and even if you're on the stream hearing the commentary, you still don't know what the players are actually thinking. And so when you're hearing about them explain specifically what happened in the match and what needs to be changed and stuff like that, then you see those adaptations actually happening. It really does go a long way.
Now, what do you think about as far as commentating within the community? Do you prefer the commentator with the science, like a Chen and David, or a hyped up Yipes?
You need both. You can't do without that excitement, that guy that knows how to just get the crowd excited and laugh and have a good time. You can't do without that, and you also can't do without the scientific guy that's really knowledgeable, that can break it down and help the players that want to learn the game more to get more experience. And you need both. So maybe I think the hype man needs to be knowledgeable as well, and I think that's why Yipes is cool, because he's not just some guy being funny. Like, he's a very, very knowledgeable guy, and he's a very, very skilled player in his own right. So that will be also why he's so respected as well. He's not just a guy with jokes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is what it is. I think if you was to get guys with really strong personalities that were super knowledgeable as well and could communicate that, then you've got a really amazing a communication team. I think if you could have a few guys like that could like operate together, that would be awesome.
Now, as far
there's only one Yipes though. There's only one Yipes.
Yes, yeah, there's only one Yipes, definitely.
Unfortunately.
Now you're not back in the UK. You're still in the States, right?
Yeah. No, I'm back in the UK. I'm actually on my way to the airport right now. I'm flying out to Rome. I'm going to a tournament called Road to Ultra. So I'm actually going to my next major already.
Wow. How many tournaments you do a year?
It stops. Depends on the year, really. But it can be a lot. On a quiet year, maybe 30. And on a busier year, maybe double. Or it can be quite crazy, because sometimes there's like more than one tournament on one weekend. So you'll enter sort of like, I mean, at one major you could enter 6 tournaments. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So that's what I mean when I say, you know, that when I look at that figure, that's what I'm talking about.
Now, since is there any tournament out there that you can actually put on blast where like you were like, oh, I got to get to this tournament? You get there, there's like 2 people.
That's never happened. No, I think once. I mean, years and years ago, there was a tournament where I went there and then I won it, and then the prize was like, it was meant to be a Nintendo 64, and then when I opened the box, it was just like some soap suds, and you know, for the weight, they just put soap suds in the box for the weight to make it feel heavy. But once you'd taken out and got it home, it was just like, yeah, like soap.
Really?
And that was it.
Wow, that's grimy.
Yeah.
That's grimy.
I can't remember. It's like, oh no, I think they had to send you it or something like that. It was such a long time ago now, but like, yeah, they sent you it, and then when it showed up, it was just this like box of soap basically in an N64 packaging. Anyway, that was really, really funny. I had a few guys around at the time, and when it showed up, we just all laughed, man. It was the most fun. I mean, I guess they laughed more than I did, but looking back now, it was quite funny. But yeah, there has been a tournament where I showed up, and then when I showed up. And this is in another country, so I had, like, you know, I went there and everything. And when I showed up, they said, by the way, the tournament's been cancelled. We forgot to tell you. They had told everyone else, but they hadn't told me. So only I showed up for this tournament. It was the funniest thing ever.
And they're like, well, since we got you here, we want to play some casuals.
Yeah. Well, because I was there, they just paid me anyway. So they just paid me whatever the first prize would have been. And then they took the money out for my flight. They were initially going to pay for my flight, but because they were paying me for the tournament, they just took the money off my flight, and they did all kinds of weird stuff, and it almost got to legal action because I got like ill, and then they had to take me to hospital, and it was crazy. It was the weirdest, definitely the weirdest tournament experience I've ever had. But yeah, anyway, that was a long time ago now.
And what was your favorite all-time tournament that you've been to?
That's a really tough one because I've been to so many, and I've had a good time at all of them, most of them anyway. I've really enjoyed my final round history, you know, having gone just once before and then getting second and then getting first on VF. Then going again this year, winning VF again, but this time rectifying my second place and getting first. That's a very, that little combination is a very nice link for me. It's a very nice piece of history. Winning EVO made EVO really fun to be a part of. I went to CEO. It was my second ever major outside of EVO for AE. And I really enjoyed it at CEO. I thought that was an amazing event. I really loved the being an old school wrestling fan. I like the steel cage that they had there. Because I've always known they had the boxing ring. But then last year they had like a cage as well. And that was quite fun. So there's so many. I mean, DreamHack is awesome. It's hard to put a finger on just one event. You know, there's just too many, and they're all so good.
Well, Chris, you got any questions? I know you do.
No, I mean, actually, a lot of the stuff that huh? What he said?
He said, "Let's go."
Oh, okay. Yeah, most of the stuff that I was going to basically ask him, I mean, he kind of already addressed. And, I mean, one of the biggest things was originally was going to be his opinion on like the American competition and basically what he really feels that our scene lacks versus like what he personally experiences in like in Europe. Because, like, for example, if you take if you've been observing a lot of the players' threads and stuff, like, for example, we'll take Sanford Kelly. And Sanford basically comments that the East Coast in general is they're just not hungry anymore. You know, everyone's just a bunch of pansies and stuff. So I wanted to basically,
Yeah.
So I wanted to get your take actually on that. Like, do you feel, and you don't even have to break it down by even coast. You could just break it down overall. Do you feel that basically our scene here in America lacks a significant amount of drive and unity, which basically holds us back as a whole?
I think it's hard to. I think it's quite hard to get really good these days in a lot of ways, you know, because the way you get good nowadays, I mean, I'm just addressing the point of, what you, in terms of you saying about the, the unity and that you may lack something. I just think generally, across the globe even, it's quite hard to improve your game just because you don't have sort of arcades and that really cutthroat environment to practice in anymore. Everything now it's offline, isn't it? So it's playing online, it's reading up online, it's going on YouTube and watching matches, and everything is very limited because if you're watching a match on YouTube, you still don't really understand why you're seeing what you're seeing. You can see what you're seeing, you might know what works and what doesn't work, but you still don't understand the science behind what they're doing. I'm just pushing out some theory if you're a player that's leveling up.
Right. And I think, and I,
player. You're just a player that's out there.
Yeah.
So,
and I definitely agree with that because, I mean, I'll have players that are like in my circle and they'll hit me up, and I don't even compete nearly as much as you do. But, as you can see, I mean, if you saw me playing like Alpha and everything like that, people go, oh, okay. Like, wow, Bahn can actually play. It's like, yeah, I still have those fundamentals and stuff. The game's a little bit different, but it's difficult for certain players to even be at the understanding that I have, because to them it's just literally hitting buttons.
Yes, yeah.
And it's like, no,
so that's the thing.
It's
so
not.
when I was growing up as a player, I could go to the arcade whenever I wanted.
Right.
To I could go to the arcade whenever I had spare time because it was always open, and there'd usually be people there because that's how competitive it was. There were that many players, so you could go there and train up. And for as much money as you had anyway. If you ran out of money, it was a wrap. But you could train up
go home.
And there was money on the line. Yeah, there was money on the line. You didn't want to lose your money, so you wanted to put in your best performance. And losing in that environment made you learn. It made you learn. It made you level up. It made you improve because there was a limit to how much that could happen before it was the end. And that forced you to kind of pull your socks up and kind of understand what's going on. And you have to bear in mind now that there were no frame guides, there was no internet, there was no YouTube, there was nothing. It was just a group of guys in a venue playing arcades. So, and also because it was quite competitive, people weren't really talking to each other. You'd never. It's not like nowadays where people have a set and after the set they'll talk about stuff like, and because that's 3 frames I did that as a punish and blah blah blah. You never get that. Back in the days, everyone wanted to be everyone, so you'd never share like I mean, even on like the Mortal Kombat days, you wouldn't share a fatality even.
Yeah, you didn't want to get body. You want to lose your money. You there?
I think he broke up.
And people just like roll their sleeves down so you couldn't see their hands putting the knee.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I had many experiences like that in Broadway Arcade in New York, Chinatown Fair, obviously, and Playland and stuff. And it's like when people, like, unless you were cool with those guys, if they had other people coming in, it's like, no, we're not telling you anything and stuff. Like, you figured it out. I mean, it was like that when Street Fighter 2 first came out. People were like, wow, how'd you do that move? Oh, I don't know. You just had to figure stuff out yourself. And,
So
and that was it, and you just held that out.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is, when you're playing now, people sometimes it's hard to replicate that serious tournament environment. You can play online and stuff like that. You can play casual stuff, but you won't get that kind of pressured tournament experience. Now in the arcade, it was very short sets because you were playing against a guy, and then if you lost, you had to get off, and you were also playing, for money, for something. So it was a very pressured environment. You didn't want to lose in front of people as well because it was public. So even that played a role. But now, money matches, I guess, theory is a way of replicating that pressured environment. But even
I think he broke up again.
Yeah.
He must be hitting bad spots. You there, Ryan? He dropped.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we hear you fine.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
But to answer to his point until he comes back, I mean, that's why I really love when Tony Majors comes on.
Yeah,
there you go.
You broke up.
Oh man, so where did you miss me from?
The part where you were talking about just like just the atmosphere and stuff like that, and like how that's just like lacking. You don't have that.
Yeah, so I was saying I don't think that players are not hungry anymore. I just think that it's hard for them to know exactly how to get to that next level because you don't have a way of practicing that really serious environment, and you can't practice whatever you want. Now you're limited by it when people are playing. yeah, you're limited by when the other people are online and when you're online, and everything has to be organized now. You can't just show up at the arcade and have a session. It's got to be planned in advance, and that's a lot harder. So your practice time is going to be a lot less.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
and that's why I was saying that I really enjoyed the Tony Major's arcade and stuff, because it created that, like, it emulated that arcade atmosphere. It's the one that I
yeah,
grew up on, and that James grew up on, and obviously that you grew up on, and a lot of these
yeah,
newcomers and stuff, like, they didn't have that. So
right.
that was just awesome, man.
All right, all right, Ryan.
Yeah.
Beyond Street Fighter, since
Uh-huh.
you are old, I'm not going to say an old man. I'm just saying old. You're mature. Beyond
Oh,
fighting games, beyond
older.
fighting games, what was your favorite arcade game?
Maybe. I mean, Golden Axe is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
In my favorites list. Golden Axe. I liked Shinobi. I liked Double Dragon. I liked Crime Fighters a lot. I liked Sunset Riders. Final Fight was awesome.
It's all these Capcom games.
Sunset Riders is Konami.
Konami.
It's those Crime Fighters.
Yes.
Yeah, none of them are Capcom except for the last one. I think Knights of the Round. I think that was Capcom. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of those games I really liked.
Now,
So yeah, man, I think those are some of my favorites.
is the arcade scene absolutely dead in England?
Yeah, man. Like a 100-year-old corpse.
So it got killed there too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's time, the evolution where all the arcades become slot machine venues and casinos and it's stuff like that. So a sign of the times, really. I mean, it's just fortunate that online gaming has come a long way over the years, so that now we can have a place to practice, even if it's not at the same capacity. But yeah, so yeah, that's just how it is now. I mean, there are still some arcades, but whether can you gather there and have a session on AE? No.
No, you could play whack-a-mole.
Yeah, exactly. You could play Mania or something like that, but you can't play Street Fighter.
5 guys get enough redemption tickets to go buy a couple of plastic rings.
Oh yes, we get those furry crocodiles with our 20 tickets, man. Definitely. So yeah, there are some fun games you can play. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not what you're trying to play when you're practicing for a tournament. So
and it's funny because what you were saying as far as the arcade training in the arcade, every game cost you money. So you played more scientifically based off of your trial and error in the past losses, to actually get good at the games.
Also, I think if you're not carried along the way, I think a bit more human nature kicks in. Like if you're out if you're out, I don't know, if you're stuck somewhere, like if you're stuck in a forest or if you're out in a blizzard or whatever, like you put in more when you know that your resources are limited. Like you'll make more effort to do stuff because you know that you have to, kind of thing. Like you're forced to, like nowadays everyone's pampered with it, like frame guides and something that tells you exactly what you can and can't do. It's like it's so easy now. You just got to like read a book and then the knowledge. Like there's no trial and error because now because the book has told you. But before you had to try it out and then you'd be wrong and then you have to go back and try again. So everything was done through experience. It wasn't just you were told or you read somewhere. You got to feel what it was like. You got the punish. That you learned by doing the punish. So you had players were a lot more confident back then because everything that they learned was through their own activity. Do you see what I mean? Through their own practical experience. And you can't. The best way to learn anything is through experience. It's the most brutal teacher there is, but it's the best one.
I mean, your training procedure, and I can guarantee you did this. If you had somebody else you trained with, whether it be Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, you always tried to make one round draw so you can get that extra round.
All right, check this out, right? When it comes to training, I was hardcore, man. Seriously. I had 2 SNES pads at home for Street Fighter, and I was trying to invent my own training mode. I had 2 pads. I took my socks off. I had my big toe on the right D-pad to block for the 2-player, so I could practice a block string. Like, I was hardcore, man. There was no way I wasn't training my stuff. So even back then, I had my own training mode.
What did you say?
my big toe was my big toe was my training partner, but I made sure that it was blocking correctly. You know what I mean?
I found this out. A little help for you on that one. I did the same thing, except I didn't use my toe. I took duct tape and just duct taped it down in that position.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, it's better if you use your big toe, because when your friends come to play, you can tell them that, oh, by the way, that pad you're using? Yeah, man, that's what's up.
My foot's been on it all day.
You see that cheese on the corner? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so yeah, man, that's how it was, you know, because we were that you know, it just goes to show you how hardcore it was. Like, it got to a stage where you would even use, you know, your toes to replicate another human being to try and work out what you could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, do you find the
I was
games
all out of Wtih, man.
do you find the games of now easier than
Yes and no. I mean, some parts are easier and some parts are more difficult. You know, you need slightly more capacity now because the games are bigger. So, you know, memory is an issue. You know, if you can remember stuff, that's really good. If you've got a good memory, that's amazing now, because everything has so many characters, so many combos, so much variety. You know, team games and stuff. So, you know, you could argue that now games are harder, but at the same time, you know, there's a lot more execution. There's a lot more flexibility with games having easier execution, so that it's the entry level barrier to get into a fighting game is slightly lower, because you can pull off the effective combos, you know, in a simple way, you know, for the most part anyway. You know, or there will be, if you want big damage, there will be a simple counterpart for almost each combo that's really tough, you know. So yeah, that's just I mean, but yeah. So back in the day, games were quite hard, but they had less in them. So I guess they were easier in that respect.
they were based? I mean, like, if we bounce from fighting games to, say, side scrollers, you know, back in the day, you had one bullet, but 9,000 things would come out at you. That was their version. That was their version of making it hard.
If you're not talking about fighting games, then back in the days, games were a cutthroat, man. I remember R-Type, where that game had me angry. I'd die, yeah, and then I'd down the boss, gotta go all the way back to the beginning. Like, what are you talking about? I just down the
Mega
boss. I'm at the
Man,
end of the
Section Z, and all them games was hard.
of the game?
Yeah,
Yeah, those games were messed up.
Yep.
Yeah, those games were messed up. Let me tell you this story. Like, I've told this to Justin, right, when I was in Q8, and all the Q8 guys, and they were dying of laughter, man, I swear. But one time, Street Fighter 2, right? Going back to fighting games. Street Fighter 2 vanilla on the SNES, yeah? Mm-hmm. So I was in that mode where I think I bought CBG, and it said, yeah, man, if you complete the game busting up everyone perfect, then you get to Shenlong, innit? I thought, yeah, but I'm on it, but I want to see Shenlong. Like, let me get to him. So you have to be all the characters perfect, innit? When you start a one-player game, I think, yeah, you have to be all the characters perfect on the hardest level, something like that. Like, it was really hard, innit? So when you start a one-player game, you don't know what order the CPU is going to come at you at until before the bosses. Like, you might get Ryu first, you might get, like, I can't remember, get Blanka first. But anyway, by who you get first, you can usually work out who's going to be the 8th character before the bosses. So this time, I batted everyone perfect, you know, batted everyone double perfect. I hadn't been hit yet. And I had one of them auto-fire pads. You know them auto-fire pads? I don't know if you had them in the States, but we had them auto-fire pads where you hold one button down, bare things come out, yeah? Mm-hmm. And I was using an SN pad. It's like this see-through pad with, like, you know, colored buttons. So I was using that, yeah? And I got to Dowsim. Dowsim was their 8th character. So I thought, yeah, boy, once I beat Dowsim, I'll be on the bosses now. So I was really looking forward to getting to the bosses. I perfected Dowsim the first round. I was like, sick. One more round to go. I almost had a perfect on Dowsim. And then just when I was about to beat him, I can't remember, he did a drill into me or something, and then he got the Yoga Nuki, the medium punch throw, right? So he's messed up my perfect. So I'm like, okay, trying to shake out of it now, shaking the pad, trying to get out of it. Let me tell you, Dowsim took the whole bar with that Yoga Nuki. Just kept banging me, he just kept blasting me up. He wouldn't let me go, he took the whole bar. But wait there, aren't you supposed to let go? No, but wait there, you're supposed to let go though. Dawson's supposed to let go at least like a half-life, but he kept going though. He weren't having it. He's like, no, man, you have to dead. And he kept doing it. He kept hitting me until I died. It took the whole lot. let me tell you, I smashed the pad on the floor into 1,000 pieces. I was so angry. Do you know how long it took me to get to the bosses? Like, I had died bare times before, innit? I'd finally got to the 8th character, and just one hit away from getting a perfect, my second perfect on Dawson, to get to Boxer, which is going to be the first boss, innit? And I was so confident that, you know, it would be Shenlong if I beat Bison after perfecting him twice as well. And then Dowsin, man, crushed my dreams, boy. Bust my head. I was so angry. Blast up the pad on the floor, boy. Just stomped on the buttons and everything. I was so mad. But yeah, and Dowsin just killed me. But like that one time though, like he never did that ever again. They never took the whole lot. That one day, I don't know, man. One of the elephants must have died, but Dowsin was angry with me, boy. Took it all out on my Ken. So yeah, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, but that's what happened. And then that's the only time I've ever broken a stick or a pad. Actually, no, there's one other time. But that's the only time I've ever broken a pad, yeah. But I didn't know, like, it was that moment of doing something out of rage and being like, right, I didn't know I was that strong. I didn't think I threw it down that fast or that hard, but like, it just seemed to blow up into pieces. So yeah, I guess it wasn't that sturdy after all. But yeah, that's my angry encounter from when I was like, I don't know, 14 or something.
When I was I had a Sega Master System, and I had role-playing game Miracle Warriors.
Yeah.
And they had a thing that you would come across these dudes in the desert. You could kill them. They would come up and they were called friend.
They were called what?
Friend. Just a friend.
Okay.
But you can kill them. You can kill them, or you can run away. You were supposed to run away. I found that out because there was this one piece that you needed to find in a desert. And all those friends apparently knew the location in the desert when you got to this point. But of course, you know, I went gung-ho in golden axe mode, and I was just slaying all the friends and taking their money, and I'm loving life, and I get to this point where it says, you know, you got to go to this desert, and you're running around the desert, going through the screen, and you run into the friend, and he says, I was going to tell you where it is.
Okay.
But you killed all my friends.
Oh.
So you couldn't get it. Now this is like literally the last thing before the last boss.
Nah. They tricked you.
I had my Master System controller in half. I put it in my mouth and I bit right through the damn thing.
Right, you got some Jaws teeth, bro.
And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Now my older brother isn't much of a role playing game. He didn't kill the friends.
Okay.
So that's how I found out that I needed this one thing. Because it was whatever, a tablet or some shit that they give you. And my brother's taunting me like, I got the tablet. And I'm like, you motherfucker, man. I couldn't do the game.
That's annoying. Damn. No, that would be too annoying, man.
But the Street Fighter did it to me, too. Because I actually chased the Shenlong dream. And, and it was like, I would get like 5 rounds in, 6 rounds in. I'm like, awesome. And then all of a sudden, stupid version comes out next.
Yeah. It sounded like some versions said different things. Like some magazines said different. Some magazines said you gotta be everyone perfect.
Yeah,
some magazines said you gotta do it like losing a round. Yeah, man, I got trolled hard, boy. My pad paid the price, but it got blasted up on the floor. So yeah, oh well. That's all good. You know, you live and learn.
My worst touch of anger, though, is this a player in the Mortal Kombat community. Actually, he's not really in the community no more, but. I had just got done doing the Mortal Kombat 4 book, and and I'd come back to the local Nathan's where we all hung out, and he was beating me, but he was taunting me, and he made me so mad.
Like, how was he taunting you though? Like what, in real life or in the game?
Oh yeah, in real life. You know, he gave me like little snarly looks and shit, like, oh, you got to do the book, but I'm beating you. You know, that type of shit.
That snarl.
And I said, all right, no problem. I went to the back of the machine. I ripped the plug out of the machine. Went to the front of the machine. I said, this is your head. I drove my knee through the machine, not knowing, because it's made of that flake board, my knee went through the cabinet.
Oh.
Now, don't get me wrong. It hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But this guy shit his pants. And he goes on to this day.
I need a machine.
And I said, that would have been you. And we didn't talk. We didn't talk for, after that day, we didn't talk up until about 3 years ago.
No, man, he told everyone to buy your book, innit?
No,
After that day, boy, he's like, you gotta buy this book, man.
nah, he was salty. He was salty with me for years, but like 15 years he didn't talk to me. And
Wow, that's a long time.
when I came back into the scene, is how I seen him. How we wound up meeting up again. And he was going to eat, and we met at ECT actually. And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna smash some TVs here?" I'm like, "Wow."
No, man.
And it's funny because Long Island Joe was another one that grew up. I remember him coming into the arcades we used to hang out in and having to stand on a milk crate to play.
Okay.
And now I see him now, and I'm like, "Damn, man! All these young kids are the older guys in this scene." That makes me doubly old.
Doesn't he work for Brazzers now? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I'm trying to get in there.
That would have been a sick sponsor, man. Brazzers,
I know.
That's next level.
It would have been, and that's another thing, with this scene. It's like you're gonna start saying what is viable and not viable. Like when they mentioned that whole Brazzers thing, I was like, look, Brazzers is still a company at the end of the day. They're not. They're not a stupid company either. They're not going to turn around and have a bunch of porn stars walking around the events naked.
You know what, though, right? All right, but you say that, yeah. But I was at MCM Expo last year for a Razor Championships, right? It was for VXG qualified at the Razor Championships for AE. It was a qualifier for VXG, and at that event there was a Brazzers desk next to the tournament. Mm-hmm. Brazzers desk with Brazzers women jamming with their photo portfolios just on the side. You could go and look at their photos. Like, what are they doing at an event that's for under 21s? Like, do you know what I'm saying? They were just there chilling. Like, hi, do you want a photo with me? I know my American accent is crap in it, but I'm just saying, like, that's how they were going on. Like, they were just going up to little boys, like, is that your mommy? And I'm like, raw, man, you shouldn't be here. Calm down. Yeah. So, and they were just there. Like, you could ask anyone that was there. They saw the women there, photos all laid out on the table. This one's £5. This one's 10. Like, and they were just.
But see, now keep
money.
this in mind. Where was that?
That's in London.
Exactly.
But it was an MCM Expo, like some anime thing, some Comic-Con type event.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
That wouldn't fly in the States at all.
Yeah,
remember,
I guess.
Remember, even our worst.
They were kind of doing it low key as well, though. So I don't know if maybe like I don't know, but they were there though.
They're like, psst, psst, hey Ryan, come here, come behind the curtain. You want a picture?
Come behind the curtain quickly. Yeah, there was a few celebrities there as well. There was a few British actors that you might not know. Rob Van Dam was there, WWE. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there was a few celebrities there, but then there was just this random Brazzers section. Like every time I went over to someone, I was like, "Yo, there's a Brazzers section." They ran over there straight away, so they were getting attention. It's like, right, did you see that sick combo? No, there's a Brazzers table. The Brazzers? What was that? Where? And they just run over. So yeah, it was getting everyone's eye. But I don't know.
I mean, if they were to take the sponsorships, if they were to take the sponsor thing seriously, I don't think they would have been that flamboyant about it.
So how would that work? You go to the tournament and hand out condoms. Like how would that sponsorship work? Like,
I would think that it would be something that would have to, because in the States it's 18 and over. I don't know about there. It's 18
so
and over.
So if you get that phone call and say, "Yeah, man, did you see that DP?" You don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah, Dragon Punch or double penetration.
Yeah, you won't know, innit? Like if you get that call, do you know what I'm saying? You don't know what's up. Do you want to come around for that DP session? You'd be like, what? You know what I mean? Like, what do I bring? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
should I bring my stick?
Oh man, this is bad. We should stop right now.
I mean, my whole thing is there ain't many people knocking on the doors.
Well, there will be if you. But yeah, anyway, that's another topic.
Yeah, I mean, now things are changing, but
it's quite hard to get sponsors. You mean?
Yeah, it's hard because they're not coming to pick up players, and the TOs that are out there are doing legwork trying to get various sponsors to get in. And I've said this before, unlike the PC where you can get somebody that sells a cooling system, somebody that sells RAM, Intel, AMD, Asus. There's more avenues for these people to take. With us, you're stuck with the consoles that you're beholden to. What you see is what you get. So you're limited to sticks.
See, but that's one way Europe could help, though. If people in the States are interested in sponsorship, Europe is much bigger when it comes to esports. When it comes to holding, like, do you know what I'm saying? The activity of esports in Europe and Korea is way bigger than in the US. So why not integrate Europe a bit more into these things? If you're really looking at increasing potential for sponsors and stuff like that,
Exactly.
do you know what I mean? So yeah, like at the moment it's just the FGC trying to get sponsors. It's not really the FGC involved in esports trying to get sponsors, because the corporations will back like things going on in esports much faster than they'll back things going on in the FGC. So it's got to get more. If it gets more involved into, because I mean, at the moment it's not like Street Fighter is an esports game. It's just like Street Fighter is featured at esport events.
Yes.
It's not an esports game. It's not your StarCraft. It's not your Call of Duty. It's not your Dota. It's not your FIFA. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not your League of Legends by any means. So it's just at the event though. They'll let you have a Street Fighter tournament at their event. Mm-hmm. Do you know? It's not on the big. Yeah, I've been to DreamHack. When you go to DreamHack, sometimes they get you to have the tournament in the Dream Arena, but other than that, your tournament isn't on a big stage. You know, the Street Fighter bit, that's not. That's just that's just held on some normal side screen. You know, as a regular thing. But then there'll be like tens of thousands of people, you know, like maybe present to watch like the League of Legends finals or the StarCraft finals. You know, massive auditorium. That will be guaranteed, because that's the main stage game. Street Fighter is not a main stage game when it's held at esport events generally, unless there's time, a slot on the stage, just because nothing else is happening. But not because Street Fighter is a priority, just because there doesn't happen to be anything else. So Street Fighter needs to get to that level, or fighting games needs to get to that level where they're considered necessary at esport events. Considered necessary. Necessary is a big word in this case, because it's not at the moment. They're not thinking, right, we have to have Street Fighter. But they kind of do. They kind of like, it would be in our best interest for them to get to a stage where they do think like that. So, you know, and then big corporations can get involved and be like, yeah, man, Street Fighter is the game we need to be backing. You know, we need to, you know, we need to back these players and stuff like that. At the moment, it's just FTC trying to do stuff, but that's really hard without that thing that I mentioned, we talked about earlier, where you have, you know, people that can communicate the games to bigger corporations and to you know, the mass media, mass market of viewers. You know, if you want to increase that target demographic, it's got to be like that.
Do you think that I don't know if they're reaching out? You know, I don't know the inner workings. I'll call them the Illuminati, but the TOs and you know, the event organizers that are out there in the States. Do you think they've attempted to reach out to these guys, or do you think that, you know, maybe they're?
Well, I mean, obviously something's not working somewhere. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault or that someone's not doing what they should or anything like that. All I'm saying is that, in my opinion, that's something that would help. I'm quite sure someone has spoken to someone, but whether, you know, that was agreed with by both parties is debatable. You know, or clearly not, because something hasn't happened. You know, so maybe our approach as FGC members needs to change. You know, I don't know. You know, there's a lot of question marks in that area. You know, maybe they don't consider it to be as of greater value, because it's just not something that's that big in Korea. Maybe, you know, if Street Fighter was massive in Korea and you had like Street Fighter gaming houses and stuff like that, then I'm quite sure that it would be different. But it's kind of a catch-22, because you wouldn't have the gaming houses if you didn't have the tournament infrastructure for that to be needed. Yeah. So, you know what I mean?
I mean, I think everything right now is kind of a wild card. You know, with the Pro Tour going on. I'm hoping that's gonna peak a couple of.
I mean, yeah, you know, it's great. Like, yeah, ESGN, Capcom Pro Tour, like Twitch, like people are working really hard to make this scene better, to make this scene as good as they can make it. So I think it's great. You know, Winner Stays On production, that was awesome as well. I had a brilliant time with that. Evo's still there. You know, I mean, we have good things. You know, Final Round was awesome, broke streaming records. You know, come on, we have to be positive here. Like, there's a lot going on that's good in this community. There's a whole lot going on that's good, and things are getting better. It's only going to get better. So let's just see what happens. I mean, if you look at the growth in fighting games over the last 10 years, it's come a long way. Yeah. You know, so I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think, you know, we need to be down about like things maybe not moving at the speed we might expect or might want. We should just be happy that there is progress right now, because that's a positive thing in itself. You know, you never know what can happen. I mean, Virgin Media, awesome company, they're getting involved now, you know, so let's just see what happens, man. Let's just also be really like, committed to what we're doing. You know, me as a professional player, I'm going to keep training. I'm going to keep giving back to the community. You know, you as a broadcaster, you're putting out material for the community to appreciate. You know, all these things. You know, I think all of that. Like Chris as well, doing awesome work with his productions. You know, don't put that back production. So yeah, I think all of these things are just great, man. I just think, you know, once people get to see how great it is, then we'll get more people involved. And until then, the community is great in what it is already.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, that's just how I feel. You know, I don't know how everyone else feels, but I love this community. Like every time I come out to the States, I'm happy. You know, even if I don't win the tournament, I'm just so great to have been a part of that tournament. That's one thing that we always have to remember as well. It's not just about the winners and losers. Like people is why this is good. The people. Not how much money did you make, not are you sponsored, not, you know, can you go to this event? It's the fact that the people are here. Because if it wasn't for the people, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So people need to just start appreciating the things that they do have and stop looking at what they don't have and worrying or being upset or complaining, you know, because at the end of the day, you don't even know how long life is. This world could end tomorrow. What would we have done? We've been wasting time moaning about crap that, you know, wasn't even relevant instead of just looking at what we did have. So I'd say that we should start there. You know, just enjoy stuff. Like people need to sometimes people just need to learn to be happy. You know, learn to be complacent, learn to be appreciative, because a lot of the time you'll have amazing stuff, but people are so greedy that they're blind. The greed blinds them. You know, and they fail to see what they do have, and then before they realize, it's too late. So I'm really happy, man. I'm just, you know, obviously. You could argue that I'm happy because I just come off a big win, but it's not like I wasn't happy before. I've always been like this. If you speak to anyone that knows me well, or if you hear any of my interviews, this is how I am. This is who I am. You know, I try to look at things in a way where everyone can win. Because of the way I see it, if you go to tournaments, if you look at tournaments, whether you're at home watching on stream, whether you're a member of the crowd, or whether you're actually in the tournament or a TO, if you look at what goes down at the tournament, in terms of players entered, so like if you take a tournament like Evolution, where, you know, people among four figures, you know, like a 4-figure community of players enter, like, you know, I don't know, 4,000 players, let's say 4,000 players. Out of those 4,000 players, if Evo run about 10 games, out of 4,000 people, there's only 10 winners. 4,000 people, there's only 10 people that are happy afterwards, in theory. You know, let's say that winning makes you happy. You know, if you're a serious player, you're a tournament player, and you went there to win, and now obviously you could argue that, well, not all those players were there to win, some just wanted the experience. But I'm just talking about the serious players that maybe did go to win. You know, now out of all those players, only 10 of those people, if you were arguing that only the winner, like only winning is important, then you could say that only 10 people are going to be happy. But that's why I think it's really important to look at what we do have and not what we don't have. So even if you win a tournament, don't win a tournament, we should just be happy that we're a part of this amazing community and we're all sharing this passion together. You know, I don't think there's that many, you know, I don't think there's many communities where you can go all around the world like this and meet regularly at tournaments and stuff like that and just be there. You know, like a lot of the time you go to a major and you just expect to see certain faces. They might not be there next time. You know, we shouldn't take each other for granted. You don't know who's going to be around. So, do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's great that we have this to appreciate. We have this time together to share and just be a part of this, like, nice movement. You know, at the end of the day, it's a fun thing, isn't it? It's gaming, it's amusement, it's fun.
It's a place, and this is what I've told other people. I go, look, I don't have to win a tournament ever. I said, for the simple fact that, you know what, whatever amount of money they give you, it ain't gonna. It means nothing to the 200 friends that I wound up meeting finally. That I actually said, you know what, we talk to each other every day. Again, we all come from every possible walk of life. But, you know, we're all Trekkies, except instead of Star Trek, we're playing video games. You know, we're all gaming. We're all gaming geeks that play video games, that we have our own personal convention where you get to hang out with that person that you've interacted with for the last 6 months online.
That's cool as well.
You know, you go out, you have a drink, whatever the case may be. You know, and now...
speaking of... Yeah, sorry, carry on.
You know, now what you got is, you know, people are, like you said, a lot of people are concerned about the payouts. How much? I don't care if it's $1.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I've spoken to people that didn't even like the games per se. Like they played for the money. You know, I'm not going to say who, but there's a couple of top players that are still around now. And you know, when I spoke on a one-on-one basis, they've told me that they don't. You know, it's not about the game. It's not about the fun of the game. They only play for how much money they can win. That's the only reason they play. You know, and each to their own. You know, I mean, if that's your thing, then fine. But I personally think that that's not the best way to go about it. I think the best way in this world is to do what you enjoy doing. You know, in that regard, if you're going to take up a hobby, then you should do what you enjoy doing. You know, you've got your work on the side. If you study, you go to college, you know, you have your job and all that on the side. But I mean, you know, if you're taking up a hobby separate from that, then I think you should do what you actually enjoy doing, not doing it for what you get. Because in theory, only a certain number of players are going to be the best players. Not everyone can be the best. That's impossible. There's no way that everyone can be the best. So you might start out wanting to be the best. You might have the drive, you might practice, all that stuff. You might have a great community, but only certain players are going to be the best. So being the best is not a guarantee ever. So if you look at it like that, if you initially started out playing for fun, then the fall won't be that bad later when you know, aren't the best or whatever. You'll still have things that you take home that you enjoy. You know, the core values will all still be in place because you'll be happy based on the reason you played, which was to enjoy it, you know, to have fun. I play because it's fun. You know, I play because I've been doing this a long time. I wouldn't be doing it if it was about the money. Fighting games don't make you more money than you can get working. You know, if you know what I mean, you can make good money just with a regular job. You know, obviously it's about how you save and whatever, but I don't think that, yeah, man, let's play fighting games is better than working. I don't agree with that. I think that fighting games is something you do, for me anyway, something you do for the enjoyment of what it is, you know, for the passion that I have for the sport. You know, I like the psychological warfare. I like being creative in the lab. All these things, there's nothing to do with, yeah, because I want to get this money. It's nothing to do with that. So, yeah, I mean, that's just me anyway. And I think that the results as a player are better when your aims are different. I think that obviously you need drive, but that comes naturally if you're a competitive person. So you don't need to look for the money to become competitive. You'll be competitive if that's what you're like.
Yeah.
And I'm a competitive person, so it doesn't matter that I'm not after the money. I'll still be a different guy when I'm in that tournament zone, you know? And that's what it is. So people should just enjoy what they're doing, though. If you look at a woman, like at a supermarket checkout, and she's just like scanning the items and she's not even interested in being there. You can see she's looking down. She's not making eye contact. She's not even asking you how your day is. You can tell, like, you just look at her like, what's she doing there? She clearly doesn't want to be there. Well, why is she there? Maybe she's got bills to pay, kids and whatever. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, if you've got the opportunity to do 101 different things, don't waste your life doing something you don't even really enjoy. You're just trying to get something out of it. Do what you enjoy doing. This life is kind of short. It can be, you know, it can be really short. So out of all the millions of things you'll never do, at least take up something that you like. You know what I mean? All the amazing sports and hobbies and activities that a person could do. Like, why do something you don't even like then? So that's what I think. You know, yeah, I only played games because I enjoyed doing it. Now, I'll be honest with you, okay? I'll be honest. If I play games and I never won anything, I would have done something else because it wouldn't have been fun like that.
Yeah.
Just playing all the time and losing wouldn't have been fun. Yes, I've happened to win hundreds of tournaments worldwide and stuff now, but like that started somewhere. I wasn't always good. I put in time and effort and practice and trained and thought about my losses and thought about how I can improve and, you know, had my toe on the D-pad and, you know, I did some stuff. So
I'm going to remember that forever now. I'm going to come next time I see you at a tournament, I'm going to be walking around with just my big toe cut out of my sneaker.
You know, and I did some stuff because I enjoyed it. It's fun. The grind was fun. Going in the lab and testing stuff and finding things out, that was fun for me. So, you know, some people are like, oh, I don't enjoy it. But for me, if you don't like what you're doing, do something you like doing then.
Yeah.
But don't be just like sitting there, like, because there's bare players, they'll just be like complaining. Well, you don't have to play. There's bare other things that are fun too. So many other amazing things in life that are just as creative, just as, you know, just as mind-boggling when you don't understand something. You know, you have to use your intelligence in a similar way. There's lots of stuff. So don't think that just because you play games now that you have to continue. You could do something different. Now, I'm not dissuading people from gaming, but I'm just trying to let people be a bit more honest with themselves, you know, because a lot of people might just get lost in something because they're in it and not actually look at the fact that maybe there's other things that are meant for them. Now, I believe that God gave everyone selected talents. Everyone God gave everyone gifts in different areas. Now, it's possible that people aren't like, because talent is a big part of it as well. I know some people don't like that. They want to be like, well, even if I'm not talented, I want to work hard. I want to do the Rock Lee thing, you know, where I'm working hard to get my results. Yeah, okay, you could that could also be a method. But there's players that could do that, and there's players that couldn't do that. You know, there are players where no matter how much work you put in, you might not get the result you want. It's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible. So I'm just saying, it's feasible that for those players, they're not doing the right thing. Maybe there's another avenue for them where they could be amazing, best in the world at it. They just haven't tried it yet. Wherever it is, I don't know. Maybe it's a sport. Maybe it's a kind of a teaching of some kind. I don't know what it is. You know, there's maybe hiking, or I have nothing. Maybe they could climb the highest mountain. Whatever. But it's gonna take a person who's, you know, kind of someone who's a bit open-minded, you know, someone who's able to experiment and test little things out here and there and not just get stuck on. But then also, I do believe in not giving up too easily as well. You shouldn't just try one thing out and then, oh, this isn't good, I'm moving on. Oh, that's not good, next thing. That's not good, next thing. No, there is a portion of grinding out, you know, some grinding out work to get produce, to get positive produce out of it. You won't always get it instantly, you know, even if you're talented at it. Talented is just another word for potential in a lot of ways. And having potential is nothing at all without work behind it. You know, if you don't fortify that potential, it means absolutely nothing. It's just a word that will have less and less meaning the older you get. So I think that people need to explore a little bit just to make sure they're on course with whatever it is. If you know, or follow their heart. You know, if gaming is what they love, then fair enough, that's fine. You know, continue that and enjoy it. But that's the point. If it's in your heart, then you will be enjoying it, and that's all that needs to be done.
They have to find themselves, basically.
Now, you actually led into something else that, you know what, because I got Lucky sitting here, and he's been very quiet. Lucky, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
You know, between Lucky and Chris, and I'm going to throw some of these pics up that you sent my way. You know, for those that were at final round, Lucky is the photographer that was.
I remember Lucky. He had really cool glasses.
Thank you, Ryan.
And Chris, both. I mean, in my opinion, they are what I want to call the FGC photographers.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
These guys, you know,
Appreciate that.
Take the shots that when we all see these shots of these events and the people and the going ons, these guys are predominantly the ones that bring the shots at the right time. You know, not some guy bending over with plumber crack hanging out, but you know, you getting shots that you really get a feel for how the event went if you didn't get to attend it. Let me throw this up there quick. You got the video on, Lucky?
Me?
Yeah,
I do.
I'm gonna go through these pics. You want to just explain?
Sure, of course.
Okay.
Obviously, right here, I got up right now. King Ray and his son, King Ray Jr.
Yep.
OBS in the house.
It was really nice shooting him, and I actually have a couple more to give you when I have the chance to. I got a couple of him right after he lost to someone, and the announcer picked him up, and
I wanted to get that shot.
He held him up above the crowd, and the crowd was on their feet and applause because of how much energy was in that room. I mean, I've been into many events and many tournaments, but just watching the energy and how many people were cheering for him was amazing.
Mr. Number 4.
What's that? You talking to me?
No, number 4, Mike Ross.
Oh, Mike Ross is around too?
I got the Mike Ross one here right now.
All right, Mike.
And we got, Big E looking very dapper.
Yeah. I was trying to get Big E probably since I met him at Defend the North, actually. And they're just so, I mean, I wanted to say one thing about the TOs and about what Larry was saying on how they literally do not sit down. You'll catch them for probably 5 seconds. And you'll say one thing and they'll be like, yeah, okay. And then they have to just, continue on doing what they're doing. I mean, these guys are non-stop busy from the beginning to the end of the tournament.
And we got, who's just holding two buttons up?
I well, it was kind of funny because I ran into full schedule, kind of a little bit after the match, and I was talking to him because I pretty much, well, not I, but my team, we shot almost everyone at the tournament, and I mean, what is the select few that were too busy or just chose not to, but. It was funny how really cool he was taking the whole situation. I mean, I don't know the details, and I'm not going to say that I'm, smart enough to know exactly what happened. But when I approached him on it, he was like, "Yeah, I'm down. I'd love to. I'd love to take a photo with this." And he just kind of downplayed it, and it was great. And then like he also, I have another pic. I'm gonna have a chance to send it to you. I have a pic of the actual controller where he shows me where the two buttons weren't. And where they removed those buttons before the grand finals.
I can't. So okay, yeah. So his buttons had too many. His stick has too many buttons, or something. Or what?
From what I understand, I think I probably James will be able to answer that question better than
he'd actually had up left, and up right mapped to two buttons.
Okay. And is that allowed, or
technically no? Because you're actually putting. He had a stick on it, plus he had the up left and up right. So they were calling it a macros, but it's not really considered a macros. But basically, in Marvel, it gives you advantage apparently. So they made him remove the two buttons.
I believe it's the character he uses. He uses Sea Viper, and one of her moves is a lot easier. I mean, I'm sure the players you'll read about it, but. When it was approached, the team at final round, I think they handled it correctly. They just removed the buttons and they went on as scheduled.
Yeah, I actually have a shot where him and the master of ceremony, so to speak, Darren, actually shows like the whole stream and stuff. I haven't processed yet because I have a massive amount of to go through, but I actually do have that shot, and I'll definitely be putting up where he actually he's showing people. He's like, shut up, everybody, He's like, here, I'm gonna show the stream, and I caught.
Right.
So I gotta ask you, I got a picture of Combo Fiend up here, and this is probably one of the coolest, but one of the hairiest guys I've ever met in my life. And I'm looking at this shot of him, and he looks as clean shaved as a baby's ass. Was he shaven, or is that the way you shot this?
Both. He was very clean, but as part of my training and when I work in the studio, we do have certain there's certain retouching techniques to kind of bring the professionalism, to the shots that we do. It wasn't too much, but he definitely looked much cleaner than usual, from what I understand. But it was a great shot, and he was once again such a great sport with all the things he was another one that was so busy running around, with all his ultra setups and stuff. But no, it was just a little, we do a little retouching to the people to give it that kind of that look for trading cards or prints or portraits, etc.
All right, let's go to the next one. Larry and wife. It's a good shot too.
Yeah, they were so busy as well. I mean, it running around. His wife was on the table. Larry was running around getting some system in his hand or something. And they were great sports as well. I mean, I didn't see anybody lose their cool, which is amazing under all the amount of pressure with everything that was going on. I mean, nobody lost their cool. Nobody lost their attitudes. I mean, it was great, man.
And King Ray Jr. again. We did that one. Loading. Oh, here we go. That was actually, I got to rotate that because it's... rotate clockwise. Here we go. You got Neo, who's going to be joining us in about 2-3 minutes. He's taking a shower.
Okay, awesome.
So this is the man behind the When's Marvel shirts. And we got Chris G, badass with his cup.
Yep. He was really cool too. I mean, it was just funny watching him every 5 seconds. Some of these players, they can't breathe. It seems like, every 5 seconds, Christy, can you sign my shirt? Christy, let's discuss, gaming. Christy, let's do this. Christy, let's do that. It was really awesome for him to take the time out and, show us a little love too and take some pictures and stuff. But I mean, it's a lot of pressure with these guys go through at these tournaments.
I don't think a lot of people actually realize that until they end up getting in that same competitive spectrum, and then they learn to
Yeah.
appreciate, what it is to actually to be there and to work hard and stuff. To them, it's just like, oh, cool, I win and that's it and stuff. But the word that you basically just used right there is just that pressure.
Who is this?
Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough. I mean, sometimes you're in an event and you're just like trying to think about what you want to do before a match. You're in preparation. You're thinking about your next opponent, etc. And then some guy will come to you and be like, "Oh, can I ask you a few questions?" And of course, you want to help out as much as you can. So you'll say, "Yeah," and and then after that, someone will want you to sign their stick. After that, someone will take a picture of you. And then after that, someone will ask you for an interview. And it can be a very a huge amount of pressure for each player. Sort of just trying to chill out. When I was in Brazil. And Kuwait, they had to have people usher me around because otherwise I would never get any peace at all. I mean, people would like literally wait outside the bathroom, and as soon as I came out, I'd get swarmed. As soon as I came out, I mean, at least they waited outside, but as soon as I came out, I'd get swarmed, and they'd just be all over me, like, "Oh, hey, can you do this, that, this, that, this, that?" And it's all day as well. It's all day. It's not just a certain period of the day. Like, they're always ready to talk to you, and they're always looking for you as well. So it's nice because you're appreciated, and people appreciate our work, and then that's great. I love having the support from the fans, but it can be very straining sometimes because obviously you're still in your own mind and doing your own things, and sometimes you want to go and eat and you want to have your time alone and stuff. So it's a nice combination, but there's definitely a lot of professionalism that has to be put into how you deal with that.
I honestly think too, like it being touched on that a lot of people in this community, for one reason or another, they have a difficulty knowing how to exercise professionalism. They haven't been, let's say, trained or basically just like they haven't learned how to develop that. So therefore, like you can't you have to actually, to some degree, you have to cut them a little bit of slack because to some degree they just don't know any better, and they'll begin to find out because as you can see with what happened with the Capcom Pro Cup getting involved with a grassroots-based event, that the change is inevitable. Because there are legitimate companies out there that would love to basically come in, but it's going to be difficult for them to do that until the community as a whole learns how to embrace that one important word, which is professionalism. It's important.
It is important. It is again, it is growing pains. I mean, Ryan, if you ever decide to retire from gaming in general, you can open up a charm school for the FGC. Because
Right.
you come off very cordial, very you're not the wisest, you're the good guy. Basically. So.
Oh, and by the way, James, that was Cujo Katie, in case
Okay.
anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta go back to that one, dude. Her eyes are funky. What the hell color are her eyes?
Well, again, that's her. I guess a hazel, but that's a little bit of our magic that we do for the girls. We like to really bring out the eyes in the photos, and she was such a great sport. I might have already sent you the one of her as Joker as well. I don't know if you got that one.
I don't know. I haven't checked in a little bit.
Okay, she cosplayed as that Joker, and I have a shot of Joker and Harley Quinn there at the tournament. But again, she was such a cool sport. As a matter of fact, I remember her and I and Kevin actually ended up in the Tekken room at like 5 a.m. at final round. It was an awesome time.
And we got Neo again, and infiltration.
Yeah.
I gotta get fucked up with him.
Yes.
He's a cool guy to be around, man.
Yeah.
He's like that too.
He was such a cool sport, and again, I was really shocked on how wonderful his English is.
Yeah.
Hell, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Ryan. Always calm, cool, and collective. Always smiling too. Hey, my bestest friend, James Chen.
Oh, right, yeah, Ryan, that was a great shot too, man.
And the man of peace himself, Justin Wong. Oh, I'm going too fast. And
Yeah, I can't keep up.
Yeah, Miss Miranda.
Yeah, Miranda was awesome too. She was cool. We took a couple pics. I mean, I have some full body pics too. I sent you the portraits just to have it done quickly. But everything was so awesome. I also have Melee with me too. If you want to hear her opinion of how it was,
Sure.
she was a big part of what happened at final round this year. So
Definitely.
Yeah, she did. She did. You guys all worked very well as a team, and I'm glad that I don't want to spoil for everything because I'm still working on it, but I'm glad that you guys are at least able to get in the video and stuff. But everybody, of course, will see that a little bit later once it's wrapped up because I still have to finalize the storyboarding on it.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yes. So do I, Melee.
So here we have the mouth of the Midwest, Mr. Perfect Legend. Yeah, I heard he had some drama with controllers. He got he lost the round and left so pissed off.
I don't see the picture, but is this the one with his 2 buttons?
No. This is Perfect Legend.
Sorry, wrong person. Oh no.
You seeing it now?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, well, we were so busy taking photos that we really didn't have a chance to see almost 70% of the matches, or at least 30% of the drama. To be actually honest, from day and night, we were just literally shooting people, and we would hear like the oohs and the ahs, but we really didn't have a chance to actually see any of the rounds until we got home and started streaming some of the stuff. And you all know the 2 days after the tournament, the first day is you sleep 15 hours, and then the second day reality kind of sets in, and you realize, well, like, damn, I have to go back to real life.
I'm at a security check at the airport, guys. I'm still with you, but I just put the phone through the check, so that's why it's come out, and now I can talk again.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah.
amazing. Right.
Yeah, so I actually put the phone through the scanner and everything, and they looked at it like, "Oh, this is live," and I was like, "Yeah, this guy's there." And she listened, and she actually heard your voice, and so it was quite funny. So I guess that's a first for your show.
First to a security checkpoint, definitely.
That's amazing.
So you
Cross it
passed
off the
security,
list, James.
guys. So the OBS has actually officially passed security.
See, I told everybody we're loving guys. All right, don't label. Here we got King Ray Jr. by himself again.
Yeah.
Man, this kid is amazing. He's going to be something. I'm telling you, he's going to win final round. Within the next 1 or 2 final rounds, he's going to win it with Tekken.
Who are we talking about?
King Ray Jr., the 8-year-old.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of really amazing talent. I mean, didn't that like Cool Kid 93? He won final round. He beat Infiltration. I mean, because he hasn't won many tournaments, has he? Or I don't know, but I hadn't heard of his name that much before. So I thought he was really good.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot of players that are coming up now. And that's one of the things that I've been trying to encourage more and more is, again, Ryan, Infiltration, Daigo, Justin, we all know the big names. But like Tekken Venezuela, what they were saying, you just don't know. South America is like the uncharted gaming continent.
Territory, yeah.
You don't know. There could be some kid sitting in Bolivia that's absolutely amazing in Street Fighter that has some tech that nobody's ever thought
sure
of.
there is. I'm sure there is.
And it's a matter of
it reminds me of the Mexicans on King of Fighters. It's like they've always been amazing, but people just didn't know about them.
Yep.
And then they just came and like blew up the scene when King of Fighters 13 came out. I mean, that was. I mean, it's not like I'm not saying that's the first time they were seen, because I remember playing those guys in some of the earlier Evos on like KOF 2K2 and 98 and stuff. So, but yeah, no, it's great to see, man. It's great to see the global kind of unity of everyone just coming together to share the same passion.
And that's and at the end, that's what's going to make this thing grow. Well, we could all talk about the sponsorships and more tournaments. But if the community as a whole doesn't actually unite, quote unquote, under one banner or one goal, it'll only grow to what it is right now, and it's just going to stay stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, really now what it comes down to, and this is like I said, with these guys coming in, doing the photography, covering events the way they've been covering events, the players doing their things, the top dogs, introducing and talking in depth and just meeting the
Yeah.
lower tiered players, trying to help them step up their game. You might find out that, this lower tier guy has the gift of bullshit gab, but he can't basically back it up.
Right,
But
right.
you might boost him up a little bit, and all of a sudden you see him the next tournament. And last tournament he didn't get out of pools. Now he's in top 32 or top 16. And it's going to be a give and take with everybody. I reached out. It's no secret that me and Mr. Wizard don't get along eye to eye. I reached out to him. I tried to, make peace. Same thing with with James Chen and these guys. I can only reach my hand out so many times. My attitude now is I'll move along. I'll do what I'm doing. And if our paths cross again and you guys want to talk, I'm more than open to talking.
Okay.
But anything that's going to make this scene grow is really where it's at for me. I have no personal gain in this. I'm not looking to become the number one Street Fighter person. I'm just doing you guys are my therapy. It's cheaper for me to go on Tuesday nights and bitch people out than go to a shrink and pay him $80 an hour.
And especially right there where you were talking about with trying to get the scene to grow. Specifically, one thing that a lot of the other esports and a lot of the other games have that we don't is a bit of uniformity in media, in promotional materials, in advertisements. We just don't have that here.
No,
that's what we're trying to. That's really what we're trying to provide.
Right.
And it's something that is just as important as the players. Getting the coverage out there that this scene deserves, and not because somebody farts in an event and it gets a Kotaku article. Actual people that are doing the PR work, presenting what is actually being seen in a positive light, not always a negative light.
Absolutely. It was. I can't tell you how awesome it makes us feel seeing the 100 new friends that we just added on Facebook or Twitter with those photos that we've shot of them and them using them as profile pics, etc. There's a certain kind of pride that goes behind not only what we shot, but the players themselves. I mean,
or even just
that's how I feel.
The people who are the spirit of the events, like John Nitty, the quote unquote the hot dog guy. Mm-hmm. He was talking about just how in the world I don't even have a vagina. How in the world did my profile picture just get 100 likes? That's something that's really good for us to hear. The people who are the lifeblood of the events, the spirit, they need that too.
Yeah, and with the way these shots are done, exactly what you said, those shots are an attractant for people that are trying to make a name for themselves. I put that picture up on, and like you said, I get 200 likes all of a sudden. They're like, wow, you know what? You're an old fuck, but you're not that bad. Because of the way you might shoot it, or the way you're presenting me in the picture. Oh, he's not that evil. He's actually smiling? Holy shit. And it can only benefit players who are trying to build themselves in a scene that's still trying to build itself. So, I mean, really, everybody's got an important part of this to make this scene grow. Mm-hmm. It's not a matter of, and I've heard it in the beginning when I first started this show, I heard people in the Capcom community, no, he's just a loudmouth trying to make a name for himself. That's what I was. I said, all right, I'm a loudmouth. I can't deny that. Yeah. But I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm trying to make a name for myself because I kind of had a name before I came into the scene.
Right.
And it was simply about me looking at this scene when I came back into it and saying, wow, this scene needs growth. And I'll do whatever I can as long as I can until I.
There is just so much. There is so much gossip and so much bad blood and so many heels, so many faces in this community that don't get coverage except in rumors and gossip and whispers and little articles that barely make it on the scene. That hardly get put out. Like, we don't get to see the articles from people even.
That's what I try to
It's-
cover, but sadly, it's kind of hard sometimes to get assistance, I would say, from folks that that have outlets that are bigger than mine.
Absolutely.
And I'm familiar with some of those people, and it's just like, wow, you know what? And this person has a lot of love and drive, and I'll take the time and put in the hard sweat, and then you're lucky if that thing gets more than 60 views. And it's like, you know, come on, like this person
something
could
that
very
even
well
I've
be the
noticed.
next person that can potentially help reshape the community, but because they're not a major icon yet or stuff, or they're not a personality, or they're not a top player and stuff that, you know, that won a major and stuff, it's like, who cares? And it's not right, because like we were saying earlier, if it wasn't for people like that, or people even like us that take photos and stuff like that, I mean, then we wouldn't have a community, because the players alone that come out to compete alone do not define the community.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is also, I've noticed in my very short time is even when you do have opportunities to get stuff out there, there's not as much follow through from the people who can do that as you would like.
No,
I'd also like to say, Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to plug Chris and what a great job he did shooting, and literally him also nonstop. Wherever I saw Chris, he was shooting or filming or some way. But he is one guy, and you know we really need a huge media team covering some of these events. You have 500 plus people here that have, you know, things to offer, and to be able to cover it all is just a daunting task for anyone. And I think he really did an amazing job. And like I said, I'd like to plug him too, and what the work he's been doing, especially with Put That Back, and being able to, you know, show these people that this is not only just video games. You know, there's a lot of love and hard work and that goes into this, and to be able to, I mean, you can't get 4 people to do something at the same time, and to be able to coordinate 500 people in 3 different rooms, you know, it was really amazing how well this went, and how many things could have gone wrong and actually didn't.
Well, to be fair, I have to plug my friend Eric Stewart, who also should get acknowledged and stuff, because, you know, like we talked about in the show last week, he was like, hey, like, I'm competing. It's like, no, I don't look at this competition. I look at it as an asset and stuff, because when I came out the final round, and when I pretty much knew that, you know, before I actually knew that you were actually going to come out and do stuff on the floor, I looked at it as, okay, this is up to Eric and I to make sure that for the people back home that want to see photos, that we capture that. So we coordinated, like literally. When he would come up the floor, and a lot of times you would see us talking, and a lot of times it was literally me just talking to him, saying, like, okay, like, where are you going to go right now? Oh, well, you know, I'm going to go basically capture the chaos stuff. I was like, oh, well, cool, I had just came from there and stuff. So that this way, we're not stepping on each other's toes. If Filipino Oceana and Justin are actually coming up on the stage and he's already walking there, I don't need to walk behind him to get that shot, because that implies I'm trying to compete for the shot. It's like, no, you know what? I would rather come in a different angle or just go up at a different time so that I can present a different image. And he knows that and stuff. And I felt that both of us actually worked really well together and stuff. And I would continue to work with him, much like you and I were talking together and stuff, because that's what helps benefits the community as a whole, as opposed to, well, this is like my show, and it's all about me.
Yeah, that's definitely what I noticed. I was surprised and flattered that the other people who they're working media gave us that much of a chance to really get what we were trying to get done. Everybody was willing to work with us. Everybody was willing to give us some space. We all got some amazing shots.
Yeah, I mean, you know, going back, and again, I'm not trying to rip scabs off of wounds here, but going back, you know, I had made comments about UFGT. They did a media panels, and I had complained about one particular photographer that was, like, literally jumping up center stage on everybody while the people behind him were trying to get shots too. And I was like, you know, again, it's, you know, that I'll call it that American rudeness.
Oh, you mean PAX?
No, it was at was it at PAX?
Yeah.
With the
I thought it was PAX.
is that the panel with Markman and Alex and all them?
Yeah, that was PAX.
All right, it was PAX, yeah. So you know what I'm talking. Actually, you know what? That's right. You know I know what I'm talking about. I forgot you were there.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it's like you do that, and then it's like you're all trying to grow. The coverage of this scene needs to be done.
Yeah.
You all need to work together. It's not a competition.
Absolutely.
You're not lucky. You're not going to get all the shots, Chris. You're not going to get all the shots.
Definitely not.
And there's plenty to go around. There's plenty of drama to go around. There's plenty of everything to go around. The only thing there's not plenty of is money.
Yeah, right. I mean, piggybacking on to what Ryan said, I mean, it just has to come down to taking photos made us happy, and we weren't trying to over compete with each other or step on anybody's toes. But I mean, everyone participated. I think that for a second you even showed the picture, James, of Matt Dahlgreen, and he's the one who did the reveal, and even he was was even willing to capture a couple moments with us too, and we got a chance to speak to him. And now, coming from someone who grew up on Capcom, say Night Warriors, etc., when I was a kid, to be able to meet someone like that and be able just to talk to him and parlay with him, he was human. It was great. I mean,
I was saying it. Never mind just him, but to get to be able to talk to all of these huge names like Chris G, like Jake, freaking everybody. Sorry, I haven't slept in like hours, so I'm blanking out on everything. But to be able to talk to these people just like they're real people. We had everybody sitting over at our table just to get kind of a break from the crowds, just to be able to sit there and just talk to each other. That was really cool for us, just to see these people as real people.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. In the community, like this is what we mentioned earlier, where we talked about how powerful the community is that we don't see. There's so much power in coming together, in being all together as one in a building, you know what I mean? And the fact that everyone comes from different areas of the community, not everyone's a player, not everyone's a photographer, not everyone streams, so there's always great feedback that you get from everyone that you speak to, whether they're good at the game or not, that's irrelevant right now. That, these are all great people sharing one passion, one love, and we're all together, to have a good time, and that's great. I mean, when it comes to photography, I don't think people actually realize how powerful that is. When you've got a documented event and you've got the visual, aspects to go with it, that goes so much further sometimes than even videos. Sometimes even a video on YouTube doesn't quite spell it. But when you've got the imagery, they say, a picture paints 1,000 words. Do you know what I mean? So. Or a painted picture says 1,000 words, you know what I mean? But yeah, and I think that it really does, because there's a lot more imagination that goes into photography, because you don't quite know exactly what happened before or after that, but it's just that one frame, it's just that one still, that one shot.
Absolutely.
And that means a whole lot more sometimes. So there's a magic in photography, you know what I mean? Yeah, there is magic inside photography, and that is always going to exist. Photography is infinite. Once you've got that still, it's there forever. You know what I mean? You can frame it, you can put it up somewhere, you can do whatever you want, put it on your phone, but it is that piece of history is set in stone. You know what I mean? Just through that lens of the camera. And that's beautiful right there. So I think that with photography teams, when it comes to getting center stage photos, etc., I don't know how it's done at the moment, but it would be great if, when you're documenting events, if it could be segmented between people that, right, you're doing this, you're here doing that, and you're all covering different angles. If you're on the same team, of course. I don't know, how many of you photographers actually work together, or if you're all separate units that come together.
I can definitely tell you, Lucky and I will definitely in Melee, and he's gonna kill me in a second because I forgot his name. But we're all gonna be working together. Like that.
Absolutely.
We already talked about
awesome.
that.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's gonna happen. It's not even a matter of we should, it will happen.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, no, that's brilliant. And with more and more events coming up, bigger and bigger events, and Capcom Pro Tour and Twitch getting involved, there's only going to be more area for that magic photography to happen.
Yeah.
Our goal was, again, I got into this game kind of late, so I did some pre-research on some of the events, and I've seen a lot of the photos, and I never really got to see some of the history behind some of these events, and that was what our goal was when we started to capture these moments, was so that 10 years from now, when our kids are asking what happened at final round 17, now now these people have something to take home, and now they have people have something to look back on and say, okay, I remember when there was those two buttons, or I remember when perfect session, et cetera, and all the wonderful other names. But I also want to mention one other thing. One thing that we were able to also capture were the actual players. There was one girl in particular. I don't know if James has the photo of a girl that she was in the cosplay, and she actually took two shots. She took two shots, one in a blonde wig, and she took some other shots with her short hair, and just being able to be part of the whole moment as well. I think it was something said earlier by Ryan. It was like 4,000 people get to go to these tournaments, but then there's like 10 people are happy. It's a great way to involve everyone in the tournament with a piece of themselves and giving them that little bit of fame, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, it's the take home, isn't it? It's what did you get from this experience? What did you what did you learn? What did you take home from this? And I think that little moments of photography, or little moments where you were spoken to, or you were given something, or you were remembered in some way, I think that means a lot, And sometimes we can talk to people and we don't even realize how much what we're saying means to them. It's just their little gold, it's just their little bit of gold, their little bit of gold dust that they take home, their bit of magic that they kind of take home from the event. They'll always remember that, that will be something that they just personally cherish forever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going through some of these other pictures. I didn't put them up because I want to save stuff for you guys to get out there. I don't want to just be spoiling the world here. But I'm looking at this one.
I'm going to head off now, guys. I have to get my plane, so I'm going to head off now, guys. But it was really great being a part of the show. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Anytime, man. You're always welcome on here.
Coming on, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And if you ever get angry and want to call someone out, promise me you'll come here to do
it. All right, sir. I'll do that.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on.
See you guys.
Right, have a safe flight, man.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay. I'm about to exit shortly as well, because I would like to get up early tomorrow so that I can start on this massive, and I do mean massive, portfolio of photos.
Oh, wait, here we go. There are more pics. Damn, I didn't even know there was so many more going down. I thought I got them all. I thought I got all the pics. I missed a lot.
Oh.
No, that's cool. I might have bombarded you a bit. I mean, we just, we were able to, capture a big gallery, too. I mean, nowhere near the amount of pics that Chris took, but we were basically had our arms open, and anyone that would basically stop, we would try our best to get a photograph of. And even some of the people that we got, like Combo Fiend, Mike Ross, like I said, Matt Dahlgreen, the cosplayers, the regular players. There's a photo of Lady Shibatsu and her whole team, and that was a wonderful moment for us, because they said their Inception photo was actually one of the, I don't remember her name. I know she's gonna kill me for this, but her baby was in her belly with her first photograph as a team with them, and then now this is like the after pic with her baby being there present at the tournament, which was something that was amazing.
I got that pic. I'm looking at it right now, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not letting anybody else see it. If you want to see it, where can they catch these pics?
Well, okay, actually, from the agreement we had, there'll be a gallery that I'm going to be heading up with Larry. Larry's going to have the media kit. And eventually, once we get our act together, we're going to be having our own little Facebook as well. But we want to make sure that Larry gets the first chance and gets his take, because he was so wonderful letting us have this opportunity at what a wonderful tournament. And we want to make sure he gets his first pick. And then once that's all set up, then I'll definitely be linking you, and also, I don't see why I can't give you some rights, James. I mean,
I'm fine. I'm always good. But again, like Ryan said, these pictures are capturing these moments in a light that really hasn't been done for our scene. I mean, personally, I won't put a picture of my bare. Actually, I might put a picture of my bare ass out there. Why not? But my whole thing is, looking at these people and going, wow, you know what? You could see they're having a good All right. You know,
If you do want a shot of your bare ass, by the way, I can handle that for you.
maybe I do. I wanna. Who remembers Star Trek really well? Who's a Trekkie?
I kind of am.
Remember the episode where they meet the dude with a half white and half black face? The two guys.
One of the 1960s episodes.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the old episodes, right?
Old ones, yeah. I want to paint my ass like that, and you take
Okay.
pictures of it. I want to get like.
Right. We'll make sure that we'll retouch it real nice so that we can. I'll remove at least 50% of the hair.
My ass is already perfect, and I ain't got a hair on my ass. What do you think? What do you think? I'm Italian.
Speaking of people that had a nice time, I was really happy that. See if I can actually find it real quick. Give me 1 second. Facebook is like really weird with these damn links. I think I got it. Here, I'll just send it to you.
Think.
So the one that I just sent you, person in your chat, was to my man Broily, who I was really glad came out. And this is just like one sample shot. Lucky and Melee, I'm sure probably can relate to this one, provided that you actually were in the room. But I like this shot the most. I'll have one in the video format.
Oh my God.
It was kind of like the whole event with, like you mentioned, WWE. And the entrance that he does with the marble player kind of reminded me of that. And it was just one of several moments where you get to see all the love and the joy and the passion that was there and stuff. And I was just glad I was actually able to capture that shot. And I said, you know what I really have to do is also capture on video for those people that probably missed it and probably didn't watch the stream. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be throwing that in the highlight.
Yeah, I'm going through these now. I'm not, like I said, give me the links, put the links up, and let everybody go through them and get the traffic through you that way instead of through me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want the hits to go to you guys.
That shot. Yeah, we haven't seen any of our work like from the other end. Like I said, we were literally busy from the beginning to the end. I mean, with the exception of Friday, honestly, because we got there on Thursday and we decided, let's party Thursday so that we could work hard through the weekend. And I don't remember Friday, so we did miss even some. But it was really, once we got our ball rolling, we don't remember anything.
I literally got to see one match and one match only, and that was Ryan Hart playing Combo Minions to Cop. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were asking me a lot of times. I was sitting there. I actually had several times people were saying, "They're like, is that 2 matches? Is this?" And I'm like, I don't know, because I literally was in the zone. And when I had people tell me, "Oh, I saw you in the stream," and I'm like, okay, and I just wasn't thinking of that. I was just too much in a groove, and also having too much fun just doing it. That it's like I didn't really have time to make matches. And the only time I really sat down to watch matches was when I took one moment to actually literally eat while the matches were going on. And as soon as I finished eating, I got right back in there. And so just because, like that's what I enjoy doing. And granted, I didn't get paid for this, but it was like it didn't matter and stuff because like to me, I felt that was my responsibility to be able to share with the community. And so I willingly just took so many photos and everything like that. But just to be able to sit there and catch all the highlights, it was just like, hey, I don't have time and stuff because I looked at it as a lot of people now knowing that they like my shots. I felt, there are people out there, they're counting on me to deliver that. They're looking to see those candies.
Yeah, we're one of them. We'd love to see that pic of us, Chris.
Which one?
I don't know. You said you took so many.
Oh, yeah. I got a couple of you and stuff that were cool and stuff. I wanted to actually get one where like it was literally a tight shot together for you, but I can always catch you guys at DCT.
Oh, absolutely. James, can I link the YouTube link at the chat of the only break I had?
Yeah.
This is the reveal of our lovely new character, and I didn't know that I'm literally in the front of this. Just give me 1 second to find it again because I just had it. And you can see the look on my face. I'm kind of dazed as well as because it was a hype moment. I'm not gonna lie. Opinions aside, I do believe that they did an amazing job. At least the one thing I even got to discuss directly with Matt was how much difficulty it was to keep this all a secret. I mean, it really was hard. Give me 1 second to turn this off. It really was hard to keep that under wraps for so long. I mean, and hold on, there goes the YouTube link there. Probably about 30 seconds in, you're gonna see me. I have my patented Venom hat and my nice glasses, according to Ryan, and we're all just stunned. Like, the room is packed.
Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna play it, but make it easier.
Okay.
Yeah, I was surprised actually they caught me when they did the copyright. And I had people like, "Oh, your reaction." I was like, "Oh, I'm in there." Okay.
All right, let's see. Come on. Low.
Then after that, I'm going to bow out.
Why is it not loading? What the fuck? Come on. Here we go.
Come on, James. You went like a good hour and a half without a fuck, man. Come on.
Without a what?
Without at least one fuck,
You know, fucking Ryan, man. He makes me like a good guy and shit. I'm like, man, I feel bad if I curse.
Yeah, no, we actually had to talk about that too. He really is a churchgoer. I didn't know that, and I'm a born and raised preacher's kid, so I know how that felt too.
I go to
It
church.
makes you kind of feel.
I ironically go to church every Sunday. I do. You laugh.
No, I mean I understand. I too. I mean I'm out of practice for a while, but I mean it's funny how I don't know how you take curses. Is it really that negative, or I think I see it as good real venting, so people don't have to die.
Hold on.
Can't be hyper, can't be clone.
I got a jet for James, and we'll catch you probably next week.
Okay.
And Lucky, you know how to reach me.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Melee,
Well,
say good night.
Talk to you soon, hon.
All right, take care.
Later.
All right, man.
That's it. Okay, later.
Ay, caramba. 4 o'clock in the morning. I gotta go
That's
to work
always-
in an hour and a half.
Yeah, if you see over here to the left, I think because maybe the video's a little before me. You're gonna see when it pans back towards the left. I'm right about. Well,
It just dropped.
it's cool. The YouTube link is there, but it was just.
I had you. It opens up with you, and you're trying to catch flies with your mouth.
Yeah, I just couldn't because I honestly didn't even realize that the reveal was going to be happening at final round. I was just so happy to be there that everyone kept saying, "Oh, it's the reveal! It's the reveal!" I'm like, I was in the middle of shooting somebody, so I had to run with my camera and kind of just shoved my way there, and I wasn't realizing that it was going to be recorded.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's the feelings are mixed as far as the evil Cammy, fucking Chupacabra, whatever you want to call her. But I mean, I still think it's gonna give more life to the game. I wish the Edition Select, to be honest, was actually tournament viable, so anybody could pick the version that they thought was the better version.
I think as the game matures, I think people are gonna just they're gonna have that choice eventually. And if it's, I think what I've noticed as these tournaments tend to change the world, so to speak. So if there's enough of an outcry for it, then I think Capcom's just gonna have to respond, or the TLs are gonna have to respond. But as of right now, I mean, you have to be really careful with what's chosen. With, people get really sensitive over their chances to win, etc. And before I forget, I do want to also shout out Jihan Sheriff and everything that he did for us and our team, and his stability and his responsibility with us. Literally, if it was not for him, we would have not been able to attend final round. So before I forget, I do want to give him all the thanks in the world for making this happen for us, and for all the people that had our back, Larry and even Eric and and you and everybody else that was willing to give us this coverage. I mean, without these type of people who actually want to see something positive coming out of this, this whole community, then I mean, we wouldn't have been able to have this venue and this ability to share talents that we've been using in other places to bring forth something that I love, because we love playing video games, but to also impact so many people with great shots of themselves and to give that happiness, because we didn't really care about money as long as everyone had a good time and was actually really able to enjoy what was going on. I mean,
yeah, it's again, it's I'm glad you've come into the scene, because you're bringing something to the table that hasn't been to the forefront, which down the road, again, this is something that I stress to everybody that works in media. It's great to get the interviews with Justin and the Ryans and the F Champs, and all the top name players. But remember, a dude that dresses up like a hot dog is just as important as a guy who wins the tournament.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you're exposing a lot of the people that might not be top players, it not only makes them feel, but it actually it cements them as a part of the community. And to have somebody that might come to the last 20 events and just feel like the dude that donates some money so Justin and friends can basically split that money up between them, isn't really rewarding. So there's no real comeback factor. But by capturing moments of these people and letting them become intricate parts of the scene, it actually will help grow it, because it gives other people an avenue to say, hey, you know what? They actually care about me. It's not a matter of just come here, give my money, go home, shut the fuck up. And that's something that I'm glad you're here. I guess, what's your next event? ECT, or are you going to try to get something else?
We're trying to get to ECT, CEO, and Evo. Those are our like set in stones. If anyone's listening and wants to help, I mean, we'd be more than glad to cover every single event possible. But, financially, that's going to be a little difficult at the moment. But, when it comes to the work ethic, I mean, anyone who saw us working understood that we gave it our all. So if anyone's willing to help us, we'd be more than willing to cover any event possible in any place in the world. We're not partial.
All right, well, I got this place in Antarctica. They're going to have a tournament.
Okay, as long as I wear my 3 coats. I work in New York City right now where it's like 0 degrees outside, so we'd be ready for that too.
It's actually a lot warmer right now than Antarctica, though. You're gonna need more than 3 coats, man. Trust me. But again, I'm glad that tonight. I know I got delayed with you. Ryan kind of caught me off guard, which was cool that he dropped by. I like the fact that, known players are coming around more. We've had Justin on. We've had PR Rog. Ricky Ortiz is going to be on next week. Awesome. It's good to see the average dude and the top gamers being able to interact with each other, not as some Q&A like, hi, my name is Billy, and I'd like to ask Ryan, what's your favorite animal? Which I didn't do. Fuck. I forgot to ask him his favorite animal. Son of a bitch.
Maybe it's a tiger, tiger.
Nah, he's going to probably say something like a ladybug, something weird. I have a feeling you're gonna pick something weird. But it's good to see people in the community being proactive for themselves instead of sitting around waiting, waiting for this money train that's never going to come around, anytime soon. What'd you tell me, Arturo? What did Arturo tell me? Arturo 9790.
Yeah, I think our resident hot dog is in the chat too. Just want to shout out John Nitty and his his persistence with his character is amazing. I mean, he's at every event from Mash Fest in New York to all the majors. I mean, he was at Defend the North. Everything. I asked everybody, "What's this hot dog doing here?"
Where is he? Let's see. You know what? I gotta do. Oh, you know what? Just because I can do this, I'm gonna fucking call him back. Let's see if I can catch him with this very serious question.
You're gonna call him in the airplane to ask him what his favorite animal is.
Yes, I got balls.
Wow. All right.
Come on, Ryan. Come on, Ryan. It's ringing. Answer the phone. They're in England. They're allowed to talk on the phone while they're flying.
I mean, if he purchased the in-flight Wi-Fi, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Son of a bitch. I'm sorry, Arturo. I fucking didn't get to it. Damn it. All right, let me text him. I gotta text him now. Son of a bitch. I can't believe I fucking forgot his favorite animal. Man, I'm mad. Hold on, where are you? Ryan. All right, there, I text him. Okay.
Well, if it makes you guys feel any better, my favorite animal is an elephant seal, because those are some goofy-ass looking motherfuckers.
Elephant seal. Let's go fucking Google an
Hell yeah,
elephant seal.
Google that shit, seriously.
Let's see what a goofy-ass elephant seal looks like. Yeah, they're looking kind of goofy. Yeah, they're definitely looking goofy. This is for all those in the chat. This is your elephant seal. Yeah, that's definitely a goofy looking elephant. But the pups look cute for now.
Yeah, the babies are adorable.
Wow, I thought you were supposed to be the ugly duckling.
Kind of way.
I thought you were an ugly duckling turning into a swan, not a swan turning into a fucking snuffleupagus. Damn. Oh wait, elephant seal battle.
Wow.
Yo, dude, this dude's got like a fucking tumor. Wow, I gotta fucking put this sucker on here because this guy.
James, it is not a tumor.
Where is it?
Tumor.
Where is?
Elephant seal. Oh, you're gonna link the video. This is gonna be great.
Alright, wait, I gotta get the volume going here. Where is it? Here we go. Alright, they're gonna do battle here, so shh. They're farting out of their mouths, that's the first thing.
Motherfucker.
I like the right.
Yeah, I'm going for the one on the left though. The one on the left is trying to hold his ground from getting pushed into the water, and he's losing. All you need is a little porn music with this. Yeah, your guy's getting punked out. Your guy bitched out on the right. He went back into the water. I won. I knew he was going to win. Yo, I quit. Fuck that. So, elephant seals. Somebody said that's me and Ski Sonic at Evo. Oh, God. So, yeah, needless to say, elephant seals. What's your favorite animal, Lucky? Lucky. Lucky. Lucky, you there?